Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Destiny if you're new here, and if you're tuning in for a second time, thanks for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a cumulative book haul. The past 2 weeks, of course, I've done some book shopping. I'm guilty. I think I am gonna need to do another no buy month for a book specifically. But I've done some book shopping. I just came back from a really nice book event in Dallas. And then I just picked up some things from Barnes, half price books, and then Books a Million. I've been in and out of Dallas the last few weeks, and so I've gotten a few things. So I want to share them with you. If you like content like this, that's centered around books and what I've been reading, then feel free to stick around, subscribe, of course, comment and like the video as well. And then let's just jump into it. So starting with two books that I got at Books a Million whenever I was in my hometown. I'm from East Texas. I moved to Dallas after graduating from grad school. And so I went home and saw my family. My nephew had his 5th birthday party. I've been an aunt for 5 years and it has just flown by. Crazy. Love him so much. But we had his birthday party, and directly after his birthday party, I went to Books a Million just because the selection at Books a Million is a little bit different than Barnes. I feel like they have more smaller authors. Of course, there are the popular authors as well, and then they have a new release section, but then they also have a sales section. And so the book that I went in looking for was actually this one. It's called Amity. And it is by Nathan Harris. This is a new author for me, and this is not his debut novel. I actually was able to pick up his debut novel. I believe this was his debut. It is his debut. And it was called The Sweetness of Water. I actually got this one on sale. When I went in looking for this book right here was beside it, but in paperback, and I actually found the hardcover on sale for like $8. So I snagged that, put this paperback back. But Amity is about a brother and sister. They've both been emancipated following the Civil War, and they are just on a journey. So the two siblings are Coleman and June. They've been separated by their old master, Mr. Harper, who's taken June to Mexico. And the book is just about their journey coming back together. Coleman ends up going on this journey with their master's daughter, I believe. Yes, with their master's daughter, Florence, and it just discusses their journey of Coleman and June coming back together and all the things that they encounter on the way, post-Civil War, post-emancipation. And so that's what this book is about. And I actually haven't read a book in that time period after the Civil War, so I'm excited to dive into that. And then from his debut novel, I'll read this one. I'm not good at summarizing, so I'll read this one. But it starts by saying, in the waning days of the Civil War, brothers Prentice and Landry, freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, seek refuge on the homestead of George Walker and his wife Isabel. The Walkers, wrecked by the loss of their only son to the war, hire the brothers to work their farm, hoping through an unexpected friendship to stanch their grief. Prentice and Landry, meanwhile, plan to save money for the journey north and a chance to reunite with their mother, who was sold away when they were boys. Parallel to their story runs a forbidden romance between the two Confederate soldiers. The young men recently returned from the war to the town of Old Ox, hold their tires in the woods. But when their secret is discovered, the resulting chaos, including a murder, unleashes convulsive repercussions on the entire community. In the aftermath of so much turmoil, it is Isabel who emerges as an unlikely leader, offering a healing vision for the land and for the newly free citizens of Old Ox. With candor and sympathy, debut novelist Nathan Harris creates an unforgettable cast of characters depicting Georgia in the violent crucible of Reconstruction, equal parts beauty and terror. As gripping as it is moving, The Sweetness of Water is an epic whose grandeur locates humanity and love amid the most harrowing of circumstances. So, two post-Civil War Reconstruction period novels. So I was really excited to add these to my my growing library. It's growing by literally the day, the week. And so yeah, love adding new Black authors to my collection. All right, and then the next 3 books that I got, I ended up getting the first 2 when I was in my hometown, and then these 3 from Half Price Books on my way back to my apartment. Like, I couldn't even get back into Dallas good enough before stopping. But my first book that I got was Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but this is on the classics table at Barnes, and I decided to flip it over whenever I was in Half Price Books because they had a whole stack of them, and it's really interesting. It's right up my alley. So the book is about it's a classic narrative about Africa's cataclysmic encounter with Europe as it establishes a colonial presence on the continent, told through the fictional experiences of Onkokowa, a wealthy and fearless Igbo warrior of Umofia in the late 1800s. Things Fall Apart explores one man's futile resistance to the devaluing of his Igbo traditions by British political and religious forces, and his despair as his community capitulates to the powerful new order. With more than 20 million copies sold and translated in 57 languages. That's what took me. I was like, oh, so like everybody's read this and I haven't. So I was like, let's go ahead and pick it up. Let's go ahead and pick it up, and we'll put it on the very extensive TBR of something that I need to get to. But I actually don't. So my go-to genre is like historical fiction during like the civil rights era, some slavery during the Civil War as well. I guess that's something new that I'll be adding in, but I really like historical fictions that takes place in the South. And so this was a new one for me. I don't have much or too many books about the African continent. So this will be a part of a growing list, of course, in the future. My main interest is, of course, about Black culture, but it's probably going to spread to like African culture. Some other interests that I've been having is like over African spirituality or like African theology, and so I'm excited to pick up more books pertaining to those. One book that I am really excited to pick up, which I haven't been able to find in Barnes, is The Conjuring of America. If I remember to put the title in, I'll put it right here. But that's the book I've been trying to pick up in Barnes. I think I'm just going to order it. There's a Black-owned bookstore in Fort Worth that I think I'm going to go ahead and just order it from and let them deliver it to me, since Barnes doesn't want to keep it in stock. But speaking of conjuring women, I actually picked up this book as well. And it's called Conjure Woman by Afia Atakora. And this book is about Miss Maybell. She's a wise midwife believed to be gifted at both healing and the conjuring of mysterious curses. Her young daughter, Rue, observes and learns her mother's gifts, meanwhile forming a secret friendship with the slave master's daughter, Verena. The lives of these women unfold amid the dangers of war and of reconstruction, coming to the head with Rue assists at the birth of a strange child, who the townspeople suspect is threatening not just the community's well-being, but the newly won freedom. At once richly imagined and grounded in history, Conjure Women tells the haunting story of these 3 unforgettable women, the secrets and passions, their tragedies and desires, and the lengths they will go to save themselves and those they love. So like, this is like me in a novel. Historical fiction. Hopefully I'll learn something new, and then just good storytelling. That's all I asked for. And maybe a romance. We can throw a romance in. Or it doesn't even have to be a romance. It could just be love for self, love for other people through friendship, family, or a love interest. That's all I ask for in my books. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty easy when it comes to what I read. And then the last novel that I got was by Jesmyn Ward, and it is Salvage the Bones. And this is one of those books I've been meaning to pick up and put on my shelf, and I saw this one at Half Price Books, and it was in pretty great condition. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. But Jesmyn Ward is someone that I am like excited to get into. I haven't read any of her books, but I've heard such great things. And when I ask people to recommend me books, they're usually recommending me a book from her catalog. And so I have a couple already on my shelves. I just need to get around to reading them. So this might be one that I pick up soon as well. But this book is about, they heard it on the radio. A hurricane is coming, threatening the town of Boys Salvage, Mississippi. Esh's hard drinking father can feel it in his bones. Esh and her brothers are trying to help prepare, but there are other worries too. Skeeta is watching his prize pit bull, helpless as her new litter dies one by one. Randall, when not preoccupied with basketball, is busy looking after the youngest, Junior. As Esh, 15 and motherless among men, has just realized that she's pregnant, the children of this family have always been short on nurture, but they are fiercely loyal to one another. It is together that they will face the building storm and the day that will dawn after. So this sounds really good. I'm trying to think, do I have a book that's taking place in Mississippi? I don't believe so. Actually, I think the book I just read takes place in Mississippi. I need to double check. I recently finished Dominion by Addie E. And her last name starts with a C. If I can remember to post it when I'm editing this, I will put it right here. Or if I can figure it out, okay? Don't hold me to it. If I can figure it out as well. But that book right there, I'm still thinking about. And I'm actually thinking of rereading it because Shelby recently done an interview with the author, and the things that they were discussing, I'm like, I think I should go revisit that and see what I think. Form an opinion for myself on what I think. And it's a pretty quick read too. So if you're behind on your reading goal for the year, I think that'll be a good addition. And it's a good book. Like, it's not just a short book that you're just reading just to like mark a book off the TBR for the year. So those are all the books that I got in the last 2 weeks. And so today I went to a book event in Dallas. It was called Bookneek, and this was so much fun. I guess it was hosted by 2 different book clubs, so Books and Brown Sugar Co. and then Booked and Busy Book Club. This was so much fun. It was near Trinity Groves, and they had a ton of vendors there. They had a raffle and they had a book swap, and so I ended up bringing 2 of my Toni Morrison books there that were different editions that I want to keep long term, and so I ended up bringing those. They got taken, so I must have brought 2 good books because they were not on the table when I went back. And then I ended up picking up a Kennedy Ryan book, which I was so excited about because I had to buy it, and it's like it's 3 in the series, I believe, so now I can just buy the 2. But yeah, it was really fun. I went with one of the girls from my Bible study, and so we had a really good time. DJ was blasting the music. It was fun. It was hot, but it was enjoyable. And so looking forward to going to more things like that. I was able to talk to a couple people. We discussed a few books that we thought were hyped up, and I was glad to realize that I am not crazy and that I may actually have pretty good taste. Those books that were hyped up that we discussed, probably would not recommend. But yeah, it was fun. So this is your sign to go out and do new things, go to the different events, bring a friend, and yeah. The first vendor that I stopped at was the Books and Brown Sugar Co. And so the one thing that I got at their booth, which I'm so excited about, it is so cute, is this sweatshirt. It's just a brown sweatshirt, has bookish on the front. Super excited to wear this, cozy up. I'm probably gonna put it on tonight. Like, I'm ready to take a shower, get cozy. I'm currently reading Tia Williams' A Song for Rookie Walde. So I'm gonna put this on and read for the rest of the night, but that was cute. So I got that. And then I ended up picking up a sticker as well. Just because, like, whenever you go to book events and stuff, not a lot of the stickers center around my type of books. Like, they're cute stickers, but, like, this right here, I have every single one of those books, right? Okay, I don't have Honey and Spice, but everything else I have. And so I had to pick this up because I'm like, I've read most of these books, so I can relate to this sticker for once. So let me not lose that. Then the next thing that I got was this guided journal, and I believe this is the brand In Perennial. I hope that's focused. In Perennial. I believe that's the brand. I didn't get a card for her, but this is a guided journal with like prompts and stuff. One of my goals is to really get into journaling, especially like my day-to-day life. I think it would be cool to like have like the stack of journals that like encompasses all my thoughts over the years, and like be able to go back and reread them and see like, have I truly grown? Am I still the same person? Have my beliefs changed? What stupid stuff did I do? Like, am I still stupid, or like, have we grown? And I think there's no better way to track that than through journaling. So I ended up buying this, and actually the girl that I went with, we're in the same Bible study. We ended up splitting up our table because we are in a small group, but our small group is pretty large. I believe it may be like 50 women in our small group Bible study. We go to a pretty big church, but in that small group, we all sit at the same table each week for like 7 or 8 weeks. Some of the girls at this table I've known for the last 2 seasons of the Bible study. Some are new, but we ended up splitting up the table and buying journals for all of the girls. So we're really excited to give each girl a journal, just as like, for one, like a token of appreciation, because we come every week, we get vulnerable with each other, we talk, we check in with each other. So this would be a good way just to just remember the time that we're spending, and then also give the ladies a chance to have somewhere to put their thoughts and like reflect on their day. And so hopefully this will be a blessing to them, but it was a blessing to me. Black owned vendor. Where is it? Check her out. She had some really cute stuff. It was really hard to choose what we wanted, but we narrowed it down to that one. So excited to give that to them. And then I better use it too, because I really had a bad habit in the past of just going to like TJ Maxx or like Marshall's and buying the blank journals. So I got a whole stack of journals, but none of them are guided journal entries. So I'm hoping that'll help me. All right. And then in this bag, I left with so many bags. Like, I felt like I had just went grocery shopping. So in this bag is the other stuff that I got from the book event, Bookneek. So this was my book that I ended up taking home. It's Kennedy Ryan's Long Shot. It's in her her Hoop series, and I believe there's 3 books in it. I believe it is. So I got this as my free book, and it's in like perfect condition. So whoever brought it must not liked it. I'm assuming, because usually I'm tapping up Kennedy Ryan. And then my next thing that I got was actually from a local Dallas author. It's this novel. It's called Bones to the Wind. All Hunters Are Hunted, and it is by Tatiana Obey. She was so sweet. When I went up to her booth, she explained it. She has 2 series that she's written. One is a fantasy based, or both are fantasy, but one is like a fantasy non-romance based, and then the other one is a fantasy with a romance subplot. And of course I had to get the fantasy with the romance subplot, and it was really exciting to support her. She was telling me both about the books and then just about herself as well, and like her journey with writing and like getting published, and just all of those things. And so she actually, now that I'm looking at it, she actually published in Dallas at Wonder Lore Publishing LLC. It's on North Street, Paul Street, Suite 3100 if you're in Dallas. So she published locally as well. And so just a little bit about her novel. Raja is determined to destroy her old man's record in the forging. A trial each child must succeed to come of age. All Raja needs to do is hunt down a Gonda, hitch its tentacle to her windship, and haul it back home in record time. Easy. Or it would be if Raja wasn't stuck on the same team as Nico. A well-know-it-all, spoiled grub worm who never does anything Raja tells her to do. Nico doesn't care about Raja's egotistical dreams of glory. This is her brother's last chance to pass the forging, or her father is going to banish him from the family. She needs to score the desert to oh, Jesus. I need a nap. She needs to scour the desert to find whatever team the Bones placed him on and help him kill Agonda before it kills him. Too bad Nico and Raja can't get along to steer a windship straight. Okay, so that's what this novel is about. Typically don't pick up fantasy, but I did today because I was like, why not? I did today. So excited to have that on my shelf. And then I didn't end up picking up the second novel just because I'm not a fantasy girl. So if I like the first book, then I'll go pick up the second novel as well. And then the last thing I got, which I'm so excited about, because I was due for these. And I was going to go to Old Faithful, Bath and Body Works, but lately their candles have just been giving me a headache. And so I was so excited to see Sky's Flicker. So this is her logo on her bag. They're candles, and they're soy-based candles as well. They're so nice. They come in this nice, like, metal tin canister, and that's what the inside looks like. The wicks are pretty long too, which I like. But this is the cashmere vanilla scent. I hope you could see that. So that's the scent. It smells so good. I'm really excited to burn it and see what the scent smells like in the room as well, because you know sometimes you get a candle and you don't even know you lit the candle. You forgot you lit it because you can't smell it. And then this one I actually did a double take, and she knew exactly which one I picked up, because she was like, is that sage and citrus? I said, yes ma'am, it is. You saw it whenever I put it back up to my nose. But let me see. So this one, and this one smells so good. So good. This is gonna be like a good like living room kitchen one. That vanilla cashmere is something that will be good in my bedroom. But the notes on this is sage, luxurious tail, and lemon lime. So super excited. She actually delivers. Let me see if I can find her card. I think I picked up her card. At the event, there were so many children's authors and or children's books and authors, and there were a couple of like essential oils, body care. We had a cookie people selling like merch, like the hoodies and the stickers and things. So, and then this is her information as well. She was such a sweet lady. And so support her, especially if you're local to Dallas. She may be at like some of the farmers markets around, or any other book events that we may have, or check her out online. She says she ships her candles too. So black owned soy-based candles. These candles are a good size as well, about what you pay at Bath and Body Works. And I feel like I haven't burnt it yet, so I can't say, but I feel like this will be better than Bath and Body Works, a better alternative. Because sometimes Bath and Body Works, the perfume goes crazy, and sometimes we don't need all of that. We just want the house to smell good. I don't want to get a headache. And so, like I said earlier at the book event, I took 2 of my Toni Morrison novels to the book swap. And the reason that I took them is because I realized I want all my editions for Toni Morrison to match. And so I had older editions of these 2 books. So I ended up picking up Jazz by Toni Morrison in this edition, so that it'll match my Sula and my Beloved. And I think I have one more in this edition. But, oh, the Bluest Eye. I have the Bluest Eye in this edition as well. But I want them all to match. I still need to get Tar Baby. Oh, and I have Love. Love is in a different edition, but I actually don't mind it. So I may keep that one. But I wanted to get them all to match because of the on the side, the spines are like all multicolored. Child, I needed to bring a book with me to a book swap, and I said these can go because, to be honest, I want them to match. And so I took them because I couldn't find anything else on my shelf that I wanted to part ways with. So yeah, I ended up picking these up after the book event at Barnes. But that's all I have for y'all. I bought a lot. I spent too much money, so I'm staying at the house for the rest of the day. Gonna continue reading Tia Williams' new book, and then I'm also listening to Careless People by, her name is at the tip of my tongue. It's by a girl. It's by a woman. She worked at Facebook, and she is just going over her experiences working around those tech people and their greed, their corporate greed, and she's just detailing it all for us. And I think I have about 4 hours left in that. It's pretty good. I'm glad I didn't purchase the book. I'm glad it was an audio book because I don't think I would have got through it if I would have bought the book. But I'm listening to that as well. So what are y'all listening to? Let me know below. Any recommendations for the fall or winter or new releases? Kamala Harris's new book is coming out next week. Twilight is releasing new editions of the Twilight series, not next week, but the week after. So yeah, hopefully I post this at a decent time so that I don't time or like date myself. But those are like on my radar. They shouldn't be, but they are. I think October will be a no-buy month. I don't think there are any new October releases. So yeah, I think we'll be doing a no-buy in October. But September, oh my God, it's been coming in heavy. And oh my God, I forgot. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. I need a nap. I've been up since 5 a.m. Like somebody's pawpaw. I was up working out, washed my car, was at the grocery store, back home by like 8:40. Who am I? But I have 2 more books. These books I bought just randomly after work. Obviously had a hard day at work and needed to de-stress. So where else am I going to go but Barnes & Noble? I believe these are 2 new releases. I know this one recently came out. This is The Wilderness by Angela Florino. Yes. This is by Angela Florino. And this is not her debut novel. This is actually the second novel she's released. And it's about Desiree, Danielle, January, Monique, and Nakia. They're in their early 20s and at the beginning of their careers of marriage, of motherhood, and of big city lives in New York and Los Angeles. Together, they are finding their way through the wilderness. That period of life when the reality of contemporary adulthood, overwhelming, mysterious, and full of freedom and consequences, swoops in and stays. Desiree and Danielle, sisters whose shared history has done little to prevent their estrangement, nurse bitter family wounds in different ways. January has a relationship with a good man, quotation marks around good, because y'all know, with a good man, she feels ambivalent about even after her surprise pregnancy. Monique, a university librarian and aspiring blogger, finds unexpected online fame after calling out her employer for its plans to whitewash fraud history. And Nakia is trying to get her restaurant off the ground without relying on the largesse of the upper middle class family who wonder aloud if she should be doing something better with her life. As these friends transition from the late 2000s into the late 2020s, from young adults to grown women, they must figure out what they mean to one another amid political upheaval, economic and environmental instability, and the increasing volatility of modern American life. The Wilderness is Angela's masterful and kaleidoscope follow-up to her critically acclaimed debut, The Turner House, a generational... Okay, so this goes on to the author, but I really want to pick up her debut novel. I love getting authors' full catalog before I read them, obviously, but this right here is going to be good. And when I picked it up, I was kind of sad because I was like, oh my God, it's so short. Like, this would be a novel I would want to be the length of The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Like, give me 500 pages, because this sounds like girlfriends in a novel, and I love girlfriends down bad. But this novel is hang on, this is 289 pages, so it'll be a good quick read. But hopefully whenever I have like quick reads like this, I move through them pretty quickly because I want to finish them. But I need to stop doing that and slow down, because usually the shorter books that are quick reads, they come with a kick, and I want to experience the kick. I don't want to miss it, because sometimes I miss it. Okay, I got stuff everywhere. But the last thing I'm going to share with you is this book as well. It's Erased, What American Patriarchy Has Hidden From Us by Anna Malika Tubbs. And it's the sister that wrote this, okay? And this was in the, what section was this in? This was in like the nonfiction section, and lately I have been picking up a lot of nonfiction books, which is very surprising for me. But I've been having a lot of conversations with my girlfriends about just, you know, the state of the world, state of our country, state of our politics, and how the world or our politics has influenced us, and also our nation's history has influenced us as women. in our decision making, and just like those internalized beliefs that we hold so true to our heart and that we live by. And we've been questioning, why do we live by those things? Why do we believe these things? Why do we feel the need to fulfill these expectations? And so I picked up this book. So I'm like, oh, we talking about the patriarchy. That's a word that people throw around, but I'm like, do people really understand what the patriarchy is? Because I, for one, don't. And I don't mind saying that, as long as it's followed up by some action. And so reading this will be my first step in the action of just fully understanding it. And so when I picked it up in Barnes, I read it and it said, patriarchy has oppressed women and denied their contributions worldwide, but the United States has its own unique gendered hierarchy. Dr. Anna Malika Tubbs applies her signature, approachable yet rigorous analysis in the definitive and groundbreaking history of American patriarchy. Humanity in the United States is determined by gender and a limited and flawed binary logic that is always tied to whiteness. Tubbs shows how fabricated hierarchy becomes so deeply ingrained in the country that it now goes unnoticed, along with everything it intentionally conceals. From the founding fathers to the current Supreme Court justices, from the treatment of enslaved women to the American maternal health crisis, from the exclusion of women in the Constitution and the continued lack of equal rights amendment, Tubb brings together academic research, their stories of freedom fighters, both past and present, and her own experiences to reveal what is erased in the wake of American patriarchy. The system has survived by hiding the tools that are necessary to dismantle it, but those tools, including our intuition, courage, ancient wisdom, and power, are still well within our reach. It erases the story of the United States from a new perspective, one where the people who shaped this country, who have been oppressed and whose contributions have been denied, are at the center of reminding us that we can restore what has been strategically kept from us. Okay, and that sounded very educated. Okay, and this is our author. Gorgeous woman. Gorgeous. I hope you can see her. Gorgeous woman. And so I'm excited to hear what her thoughts are, and then also form an opinion for myself as well. Because we one thing I'm not going to be doing is throwing around words that I don't understand. I already have a difficult time pronouncing them, but we're working on that. Action. We're a woman of action. And I also want to have intelligent conversations. And so I'm realizing that the nonfiction section may just have to see me from time to time. We can't read romances all the time. We can't read historical fictions all the time or fantasy all the time. We have to diversify our reading. And that may mean picking up a nonfiction book, or might I say, a self-help book. that may involve that, okay? I don't frequent the self-help section too often, but I want to be a well-rounded woman, and so I'll be picking up what I need to pick up. But that's all I have for y'all. If you love all things Black books, Black authors, or just listening to someone yap about their books, then stick around. I really enjoy filming this for y'all. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and be blessed.